Uh, all right, we are live on YouTube for the Tropical Ridge meeting, February 6th, 2023. And Sylvia, the secretary, will introduce the meeting.
All right. Thank you for coming to the Tropical Ridge meeting. This is a neighborhood meeting. So,
And if you come,
so
the microphone is over here.
here,
No, we already turned that off.
the garden. It's the Tropical Ridge Fitness Park. You guys can get community service. It's at 10 a.m. So I sent you guys flyers. So hopefully you have them. Lo que yo estaba diciendo es que vamos a, it's right behind the Compass building, está detrás del edificio de Compass, un edificio azul, y hay tres jardines. Fix it up. That part, I think it's at least
To graduate, 20, you mean, right?
No, 100 hours for Bright Futures and 75 for Medallion and other Bright Futures, and you need at least 20 hours to graduate. But the community service hours, they also, help the community, and so you guys get be more involved and see where your passions and your interests lie.
Maybe even make some good connections.
Yeah. And so nosotros ofrecemos horarios voluntarios a los estudiantes porque necesitan por lo menos 20 horas para graduar. Pueden empezar a hacer horarios voluntarios. Pero también tienen que escribir y documentar qué hicieron y cuántas horas, y nosotros nos firmamos para los jóvenes. So, you guys got to bring your community service sheets. We sign them. If you forget, you can bring it next time, and we give the hours to them, and we sign off on them. So, as a neighborhood association, we offer that. And then I think that's it. We also have what is it? So it's February 11th and the 25th. So please tell your friends. We need a big group. So I've been trying to email everybody. This is the president. I'm the secretary. My name's Sylvia. Yo soy la secretaria. Me llamo Silvia. Él es el presidente. Ray. Bienvenidos, presidente.
Hi, everyone.
Él es mi esposo, mi asistente y de todo técnico. My name's Sylvia. I'm the secretary. He's the president, Ray. This is my husband, my assistant. He also does the technical side of things, as you can see. So, and we record every meeting, so if you guys are ever interested. Last month we had University of Florida do a presentation here, a garden presentation. So, and the tree board was here, and the mayor of Lake Worth was here last month. So, we do get different people every month. Okay.
Oh, yeah, and we also have Zoom, so you can find us on Zoom as well. The link is in the YouTube channel.
Would you guys like to introduce yourselves? If you want to.
We should start over there. I'll start. Yes, hello. I'm Bama Luke Steele. I work for the Cultural Council for Palm Beach County, which has headquarters here in Lake Worth Beach. And I'm going to speak to you about that a little bit later this evening. And I'm looking forward to getting to know everybody better. What an interesting thing.
Hi, Ray Lofton. I've already been introduced. I'm the president of Tropical Ridge.
My name is Amy Martinez. I'm also a student at John Island, representing the FCCLA Club at our school. My name is Molly. I work with the medical school for Short Coast. I'm actually also here to do a little chat about that today. So, yeah, everyone.
It's my guest, Anna Maria Wendish Hunt, live on the other side. but I try to keep in touch with what's going on because we have so much in common.
I'm V. Carallo, and I live in the building. And Anna Marie got me to come down.
All right. Oh, and I guess I should introduce myself too. Okay, so my name is Matthew. I'm still getting used to the way the camera works. I just do a lot of the technical stuff, so I'm trying to make sure everything gets onto YouTube smoothly and also on Zoom. All right. Oh, also, there's a tablet going around for those who saw it on the table there. You can go ahead and fill out your name and everything. There's also a paper version, but the tablet's a little easier as far as I'm concerned. And you can use the mouse if you want. Let me just, so this turned off again. And, okay, that's good. And now it looks like we're back. Okay, so then we should be able to just go right here. And it quit again. I don't know why it keeps quitting, but at least I wonder if there's a workaround here. You want to try that? Okay. Okay. So I'm not sure if that's going to help the situation. Oh, it actually is still going. I don't know why it said it stopped. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Okay. So yeah, you're good to go.
Hello.
Hello.
Again.
And this mouse should be working. Yes.
Well, you know, things always go the way they go, and this Monday has no exception. So everything that could go wrong for me this morning went wrong, but today is better, and here we are. And we'll go now into something more interesting, like where we all live and what we're all doing and what community really stands for. As I said, I work for the Cultural Council of Palm Beach County. Thank you, Sylvia, for the invitation, and thank you, Matt, for your help. The Cultural Council for Palm Beach County, you're going to learn about it in a minute, but let's talk about community for just a moment with these images. And you know what this one is, right? Everybody, 100%? Okay. Let's see if the next part, you know what I think?
And we're looking forward to another picture like that soon.
Here it goes. It's going to load slowly. In fact, it's going to load all at once because it's Monday. So in the middle, that's our beach at Lake Worth Beach, which is one of my favorite places on the planet. And it is surrounded by so many things here in Palm Beach County. I thought this might just let us all feel at home together for a few minutes. This is all the way down in Boca Raton at the bottom at the Boca Raton Museum of Art, where this couple is looking at a piece of art. In the top left corner, you have the northern end of Palm Beach County, where the Jupiter Lighthouse is located. And underneath, you see familiar faces, you see familiar scenes, all from throughout Palm Beach County. We live in a cultural paradise. When you think about all that is here, and all that could be here or could be developed. And that's really the heart of what the work of the Cultural Council is meant to do, to support what we call the cultural sector. And, you know, that is our area, that is our space, and that's why we exist as a private, nonprofit organization. We're membership supported, and we contract with government agencies like Palm Beach County to use money that's been set aside from tax dollars to pay for art and culture funding, grants and grant programs. So we administer a grants program, which again goes to support and keep our cultural sector healthy. So that's a little bit of our orientation. Have you been in this building? How many? Anybody here? 1, 2, 3. Good, thank you. 4. Okay. 4 out of 8. So we'll do 100% next time because the location is easy. It's 601 Lake Avenue. That's the corner of Lake Avenue and L Street. Walkable from here, truly. And it's open Tuesday through Saturday from noon until 5 p.m. The building itself is worth noting. The building is the Robert and Montgomery building. Do you know who he was? Robert Montgomery was an attorney from Alabama. And when it was a thing to sue Big Tobacco for all the harm it caused people's health, he sued and won. So he lived in Palm Beach. That was one of his many, many accomplishments. But that was how he got to where he was quite a very wealthy individual. He and his wife, Mary Montgomery, were big patrons of the arts in Palm Beach County. So a natural connection to the Cultural Council is this building, which his wife, Mary, gave to us about 10 years ago. We are very fortunate to have this building. But you'll notice the architecture is Art Deco. It's actually a special kind of Art Deco called Streamline Moderne. If you've ever seen the Santa Fe Railroad and those really sexy looking railroad cars from the 30s, same general design ethos. Essentially, this building has these rounded corners with the flutes on them and the beautiful geometric strength to its design. Our offices are actually on 3 floors. At the very top on the left, you see a window. That's the 3rd floor. The middle is a whole suite of office spaces where the bulk of our staff works. And then there's a ground floor, which has a gift shop on the left, a big lobby in the middle, and my office, the little window on the bottom right. That's the Visitor Information Center. And then the back part of the entire 1st floor has been converted into gallery space. I say converted because the building isn't new. It had a life before this. It was built in 1939 as the largest first-run movie house in Florida. And Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland sent congratulatory telegrams when the building opened up. And it was a big deal because this was a beautiful air-conditioned building and it seated so many people. In the 70s, it went empty and went unused for a period of time. There was an economic depression right about the time of an oil embargo where a lot of different things happened. And the building was then, it changed hands several times. Burt Reynolds and Dinah Shore had it for a while. It was the Pasta Palace. It was a teen hang where young people would come, 16 or 17 or 18-year-old high school students could come in a disco ball hung in the middle of it. And it was like a place to dance and just have a really fun night. And it had several other iterations. And then finally, it was bought by the J. Patrick Lannon Foundation, became a centerpiece for contemporary art, world-class contemporary art for over a decade, was housed in the building. Now, it is a building for celebrating local. Our organization, like every other nonprofit, has a very central mission, and ours is to champion, engage, and grow the arts in Palm Beach County, fulfilling the need for cultural engagement. And I do believe that that's a legitimate need, that we could go through life without any expression of culture, but why would we? Why would we not want to draw or doodle or write our thoughts down or play with poetry or go see a terrific film? You know, why wouldn't we want to explore and use our imaginations in that way? That's what we mean by fulfilling the need for arts and culture. But we do that, like I said, specifically by putting our efforts and support to maintaining a strong cultural sector. Some of the activities that we're involved with are support services, and they're for 2 categories: support services for arts organizations and for individual artists of all disciplines. We are finishing a strategic plan and going into a new strategic plan very soon. So we will be evolving and developing new goals along these lines. But that at least tells you the support services and who they are for. The actual services may change over time, and they have. Even Anna Maria knows, since I've been there for 8 years now, a lot of our services have changed and evolved. We are a local arts service agency, which is in any community that you might be in, a very important organization for the health of your community's cultural sector. We administer the grants programs that I mentioned before, both public money, which means money coming from tax dollars, and specific money for organizations that are competitive grants with very particular criteria grant. And those grants are offered for specific problems that the organization can solve. You know, and they're given to those we think have the best chance of actually reaching those goals. We are also an advocating organization that advocates with state, federal, and local governments We meet with our county commissioners, we meet with our city councilmen, we meet with our mayors, we meet with the League of Cities, we meet in Tallahassee with the legislative delegation from Palm Beach County. We want them to be aware of the story of the arts in Palm Beach County also. And we branded Palm Beach County with a marketing term. We call it Florida's cultural capital. And I think we've earned it. I think that historically and with all of that name fits us very well. It also, seen that especially here in Lake Worth Beach. Look at what the Street Painting Festival does in one weekend. Look at what happens when there's an open house art show on one of our little streets where our stores are. You know, this is a big impact. And also, people want to live in a community that's rich in culture. We have that. We also try to develop programs and work with organizations and individuals that can enhance our public school programs' art offerings, sometimes by facilitating connections between students and school boards with arts organizations and presenting organizations like the Kravis Center or some of the museums in town, so that students have the opportunity to go and visit these, and also so that the Cultural Council might find funding that's needed for a particular project that we become aware of. Those are some of the examples of how we might be able to help enhance an arts education program. But we've also done different kinds of teacher trainings, and we've also had actual hands-on activities for children in our building, and now we have a whole program that we take out into other communities. Palm Beach County has almost 40. It has 39, but Loxahatchee is about to be 40 cities or incorporated communities in Palm Beach County. And so we're trying to encompass all of Palm Beach County with our reach and with our programming. So some of our arts education programs have gone from here to Riviera Beach, to out to Belle Glade, and been facilitated with community partners in each of those towns. And finally, promoting cultural tourism. Again, that is reasons, but part of being Florida's cultural capital makes you attractive to visitors. My office, I said, was in the Visitor Information Center at the council. So I have brochures for everybody, because that's one of the things we have. And this is one, I'll give you one and you just pass it down here. This is a brochure for cultural tourism. It is meant to be a piece I can hand to someone that's new to Palm Beach County, and I always tell them, look where the bridges are. Look where A1A is, where I-95 is, where US 1 is, where the Turnpike is. You'll see the bridges, and you'll see color coding on the pull-out map. If you open it up, there's a map. When you see the map, it's coded by color from north to south, simply by little regions, which just help you get oriented. And then on the back, if you flip it from the bottom up and look at it, you'll see there are websites and phone numbers for each of the organizations represented there, or venues that are represented. This is meant to be a helping piece for a lot of audiences in promoting cultural tourism, partly because those audiences might be people in hotels that are dealing with guest services, and they can hand this to people. People can go to visitor information centers, not just here in Lake Worth Beach where the council is, but we make sure that they're in Delray Beach at the Visitor Information Center, in West Palm Beach at the Adventure Center downtown on Detour Street. And we make sure that they get into the hands of other visitor centers throughout the area. So that's just one piece. There's a second piece where we partnered with other agencies. I'll start on this side and take one and just pass them around. Thank you. I'll take one too. This is a new piece that we're just putting into a marketing campaign. The Cultural Council has a really strong marketing department. And this piece is something we call the Ultimate Week of Sports, which is an imaginary week where you can go to spring training, go to polo, go to international tennis tournaments. You know, all of these things are here in Palm Beach County. So we thought, wouldn't it be great if we put sports activities in pink across the top and cultural activities that might complement your perfect ultimate week of sports in the Palm Beaches. It's a cute idea, and it really wakes people up to what's possible here just by recombining how you spend your time. So that's another example of what we do. We celebrate our cultural partners, and ultimately that will drive traffic, meaning people, into these cultural institutions as well. They need that support. What we try not to do is what the other individual organizations themselves already do. We don't need to do what they do. They need to do what they do. We need to do what they can't do and that they all need. All of them need things like this. And our website is similarly configured. So that gives you a sense of how we stay on task as a local art service agency, and also how we fit into that space. The people that we serve, I thought I would just line them up on the left because, who do you serve when you serve the cultural sector? Organizations, independent professionals. Anna Maria would be an independent professional, for example. Arts educators, tourists, and the community. So many people in Lake Worth Beach have VRBO or little rental places for visitors, right? They can come pick these things up and have them for their guests. It's perfectly fine. You can all be ambassadors to visitors in different ways by telling them how to find the best things around that you know about, that you think are really cool. Is it the Lake Worth Playhouse? Is it the Lake Worth Artists League? That, the little pieces of our community that people don't know about are the things that they come in my office and tell me they're so delighted to have been surprised to find. So it really does make a difference as community ambassadors when you tell other people, when they ask, maybe here's one of my favorite places to go for arts and culture, because people literally walk in off the street every day into our building and say, where are the art galleries? Where's this? Where's that? Where's the glass blowing? If they want to know what we have, and Lake Worth has a lot that's just a little bit off the radar. We're trying to put it on the radar, but not too much, right? It could be overdone. There are three main areas that we like to work in terms of how we do what we do. And one is to bring people together, to convene these groups of like-minded people. This is a convening. So this is how we might come out into the community and meet with you at your meetings. We might also invite artists to come together. There's something called thoughtful review going on at the Cultural Council occasionally on, I think it's on the second or third Thursday. I'm not sure exactly. Don't hold me to that. But it's for visual artists who come in, and it's a hand-picked mixed group. They come in and they look at work and they critique each other's work. You have more seasoned veterans in the art world helping new and emerging artists and actually looking at the kind of work they're doing and giving them feedback. But it's a very special group that's very keen on what the business of being an artist entails and how to improve their artistry. So that's one example, by convening with individuals, but we also convene all the marketing professionals of the culture organizations, and we share with them opportunities for deeply discounted advertising, whether it's in print or broadcast advertising. You might hear about things in Palm Beach County on WLRN radio in Miami Beach. Well, they bought that ad probably through the Cultural Council. So we're behind the scenes with these kinds of assets and resources. They're all part of how nonprofits work in a community. So convening and meeting and sharing information is one of the things we do. We also bring the community together under our roof where you can see the talent that our artists in our community have, the visual artists. We are a resource, as I said. We've done teacher trainings. We've been involved in how to get children to certain kinds of cultural events and providing expertise to for example, the convention center needs artists. We can be a resource to help them find artists. And by that I mean when there's a conference, there's almost always a reception. When there's a reception, there's almost always somebody playing music at that reception. So we are an advocate for that person playing music at that reception to be from Palm Beach County. You don't need to drive from Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and put somebody local out of work. Work with us. We'll help you find the right talent, and we become a resource for finding talent that way. We have an online artist directory on our website, which is really interesting, and anyone that is a creative professional can have a listing in there. So that's another resource that we make available, both to those who want to have a listing and to those who are looking for talent. And the last is as a thought leader, because as you might imagine, in the world that we're in today, everybody's talking all at once, it seems. Nobody's really always fully developing ideas. We try to look at what's happening to our arts community. when COVID struck, when people were out of work in so many different areas. Musicians were particularly hard hit, as were dancers and actors, because all the theaters were dark. Our cultural organizations that present were shut down, sometimes for a year and a half. They couldn't have meetings. So we had to look as thought leaders on this is a big problem they all share. How can we, our executive director and CEO, our CEO and president, Dave Lawrence, pulled together the other presidents and CEOs of culture organizations and took their temperature and figured out what their needs would look like and what the next few years were going to do to their organizations. Many of them had lost staff, others had laid off staff. How was that going to impact the next couple of years of programming? So that's the thought leadership piece that the Cultural Council tries to be, which is a little more than individual organizations can do themselves. And I only have 2 more slides, and then I'll be all done. These are some examples of actual programs and initiatives that the Cultural Council does. In the center in the text, you see different categories of arts organizations that can be funded through competitive grant process. We have put our grant application procedures on our website so that any grant writer that's working with an organization can find the information they need about how to apply. We do a training session so that they know exactly what they have to write, how to kind of parse their words and make their points clear, and what their deadlines and reporting will look like, and how they're going to have to present to the panel. So they go into it knowing what's required of them. Above at the top, the sunglasses you see, that's Mosaic. Mosaic is every month of May. It stands for Month of Shows, Art, Ideas, and Culture. And we, as a convening group, talk to all of the arts organizations in Palm Beach County and invite them to give us a discount or a deal just for the month of May. And then we aggregate all of those deals on a website, and that website is what our marketing department puts together, and we create marketing material around that so that we can get people engaged with our cultural organizations in May. There's been traditionally a winter season for tourism and a summer season, but May and September are a little like shoulder season, we call that. So we put this in May. It happens to align with Sunfest, that's always in May. There's always a lot of people around for that. And we get with partners like Brightline and find ways to get the word out. So people in Miami come up here in May. It's a great time to look to Mosaic. After COVID and after the events of Black Lives Matter, we did a lot of thought leadership around audience development and about representation in the cultural sector. And so you see it says Arts and Tourism Summit on Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. That was in 2021 in August. We invited all of the cultural organizations, all of the tourism organizations, and all of the hospitality businesses in all of Palm Beach County to come and be part of something that we funded and presented to them with national speakers talking about how does that look? What does that mean you have to change? How do you fund to make sure it's fairly available to everybody, that everyone can participate? And how do you present? How do we as a grants aid organization address disparities like there aren't any African American groups getting the funding? All the money goes to big organizations with long histories. And we realized we had to change our criteria so that we saw different ways to do that. We learned from speakers how that might really look in the community and be more equitable and make the whole community richer as a result. We'll be doing a second one this next summer in August 30th and 31st at the Convention Center, and it will be Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Access. Because access is another 26% of all people who travel have some sort of disability that they have to accommodate for. And that's just life, that's just being human. So we're gonna, as a thought leader, bring these topics forward and bring together speakers to help train and grow. Let's see, there's the Dina Baker Fund for Mature Female Artists. I can tell you that you do age out of a certain amount of opportunity. My gray hair came with COVID, And I decided to leave it gray in solidarity for women everywhere who just live long enough to get gray hair. Because why not? And there are very fine artists who can win a prize, in this case $10,000, and a year of opportunities to show their work that otherwise they might not be competitive for, even though they're tremendously talented. So that's another example of what we do. And then the Artist Innovation Fellowship Program on the top left. These are fellowships of $7,500 awarded to individual artists in all disciplines. And we are very sure that there's a mixed bag of talent and representation. And so the winner of the fellowship gets this $7,500 fellowship gift based on what they said they would do with it and how it would take their career to the next level. That might mean that they need to go study with someone, or that they need to travel to a certain place and take photographs and paint it. It may mean that they want to write or choreograph a new work for the stage. And in a year, with that little extra bit of support, it would free up the time for them to do these things. They're obligated to give us a report 6 months in on how that's going, and to give us a culminating presentation when the year is over. So we can see that investing in these artists raise the bar for their professions and for our community, because now we have much higher level success for each of them. And there were, I think, 7 women awarded this year in jazz, singing, and choreography, painting, all sorts of things. And you'll find them on our website. So those are just some concrete examples. And finally, these are what you can do. Visit us, as I mentioned before. You can see the hours from 12 until 5. We're not open in the morning. Don't come knock on the door in the morning. We won't. We might answer it, but we were hiding in there. Yeah, because that's when we try to get our work done, especially me in the Visitor Information Center. But when you visit us, there's a couple things you can do that are fun, that make it worth. You can get a copy of Art and Culture magazine. We publish this 3 times a year. Our staff coordinates what the content will be and works with a publishing company, Palm Beach Media Group, to produce this. And it's sent to every one of our members. As I said, we're a private membership-based organization. Membership can be as little as $70 a year for an individual member, so it's not out of reach. And those members all get that mailed to them. They also get to come to our member previews for free, which are when we have a large main exhibition in the gallery. It's an opening night to meet all of the artists who contributed to that exhibition and to celebrate their work. We have what's called the Row Green Uniquely Palm Beach Gift Shop. And this is a service we offer to artists, but also to people who are looking for that unique item. Everything in it is made by an artist from Palm Beach County. They're all one-of-a-kind pieces. And yes, they're marked up a little bit because we want the artists to make what they're worth, but we also want to support the time it takes for us to spend hours and hours putting a store together. So you will find that it's a nice way to support the council. It's a nice way to find really special items. And then this at the top is an example of what our main gallery looks like. And it changes about every 8 to 10 weeks. We'll have a new show in there. We also have a schedule for the season, a season preview guide that's available if you come into the council, and that'll give you exact dates for everything for the year. Over the last 3 years, we've been pulling together our calendar so that we actually know what we're doing a year ahead, and that has made a big difference in our ability to communicate it and people to come and participate that would otherwise not have known what was happening. So like I said, we're evolving all the time. And then finally, bookmark palmbeachculture.com. This is our website, and I think you'll find it's a wealth of resources. From the online events calendar depicted on the left, I just took that as a screenshot of one day, like today. I think I went to that date on it. It's searchable by date. It's searchable by area. It's searchable by discipline. And things on the calendar are added by our cultural community. They have the opportunity to upload their information for their events, for their performances, for art lectures, all kinds of festivals, and you can sort by that. The example I have here is at the Duncan Theater, February the 11th, spotlight on the band from the Symphonic Band of the Palm Beaches. And you can't get much more local than that. That is a very, very local group. But you can see what their listing looks like, and all of the blue is actual live. It says Duncan Theater. You can click on that and see where Duncan Theater is. There's a map that'll pop up. It says presented by Symphonic Band of the Palm Beaches. You can click on that and you'll find out more about the Symphonic Band of the Palm Beaches. So each cultural organization that becomes a member organization of the council, and some that aren't, take advantage of this. Our criteria for inclusion on the calendar is that it be specific to a date and open to the public, and that it not be specifically a fundraiser. It's fine if it's a ticketed event like a concert at Arts Garage or the Gravis Center or Ann Norton Sculpture Gardens or the Mounts Building. All of that, they're all ticketed for entry. That's not the same. But if it's a gala or a fundraiser or some kind of, we don't put those on our calendar. But it's a great resource when you have company coming or you just want to know what to do for the weekend. PalmBeachCulture.com. Right at the top it'll say things to do. Click on that, the events calendar will drop down for you. There are two other ways that you can stay up to date, and that's by email and by downloading this guide. The guide that I showed you, the purple one with the sunglasses on top, is also a downloadable PDF. And all you do is enter your name and email address, and you'll get it emailed to you. In that form, it's nice to send to people that might be visiting and say, hey, here's some things to think about doing before you get here. And you've got a menu built in for your guest. The other one is we offer emails that are available. We have a monthly insider access email for residents and for people in the area that want to know what's happening in the month of February. You'll get an email with a really nice list of resources aggregated so that it's immediately available. And again, it'll have links on it where you can click to know more. So those are some of the services that we offer and some of the work that we do when you wonder what they're doing in the big white building. That's what we're doing. We have a marketing department, a grants department, a finance and membership department, and we're busy. We stay busy. Artist services is our main thrust. So thank you for your time, and I hope you'll come and see us. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Thoughts?
How can you volunteer?
We do ask for volunteers occasionally, and you can come to the council office and you'll get a business card of the lady that manages that. Her name is Helen, and she can email you back and forth, and she'll set up an interview and an appointment to find out what you might do, and what their needs are. She usually keeps a bank of potential people, and then we never know all the time when to help us in here. We're expecting a lot of people, and we'll train people how to do that. So we would love to have volunteers that are interested and available.
Where do you have your doctorate?
My background before I came back to the culture, because I used to go here when it was the movies, when I was a kid. So when my academic career was it's called musicology. It's the history of music, like the history of art. And the work I did was teaching at Wake Forest University and University of North Carolina, Greensboro, teaching the music history sequence to music students and to graduate students, teaching them graduate study, research, and period history courses. When I retired from that, so my mother still lives here, and she was born in Lake Worth, like I mentioned before. So we came back to Lake Worth Beach, and the Cultural Council was just looking to fill this new position at the time, 8 years ago. And I thought, what a great way to use my teaching background and to connect with my community. So I was chosen for the position, and it's kind of grown from there. Any other questions, though, about how we can help you? Any thoughts on what our community needs? The best thing I would ask you to do is support culture. Visit the Lake Worth Artists League. Visit gallery.
Science night? Like Lake Worth High has a science night, and Lake Worth Middle School has a science night. I don't know if you guys would be interested.
Well, our connection to science, I know you said art, sciences, history, community, right? Our connection to science embraces organizations like the Cox Family Science Center, and we could put you in touch with them. They do have outreach programs that they could bring right in for you. So that's one of the connections we could easily facilitate. So if you want, I can give you my card and then I can connect you. All right, be happy to do that. See, just use your imagination. You'll think of a linkage somewhere.
Are you connected with the, I guess, like Lake Worth High? They have a pretty strong art department, I
They
think.
have a great music program. I'm a
Music as
graduate
well.
of Lake Worth High School.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. We are, to the degree that they connect with us, they drive that bus. Right now, they could use our calendar. They could publish their events. If they do concerts in the park and they want people to know, they could get on that community online calendar. So there are resources there that would be very useful for them and wouldn't take any time and don't cost anything. They can't do fundraisers, so if they're selling chicken, that's great, but that's not what the calendar's for. It's for cultural events that are open to the public.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all. Now I'll let you get on with the rest of your meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Be good.
So next person to present is Little Medical School of Treasure Coast and Melanie Ortega.
I don't know if the way I formatted this will pull up because I did that through Canva.
Oh, actually, we can try and figure something out.
Okay.
Yeah, it might just take a moment.
Otherwise,
To
I can save
reconfigure.
it as a PDF and
Let's
then
see.
do it that way.
You know, you should leave some at the desk because
I'll do
we have
that too.
Okay.
I'll pull it up.
So-
Well, actually, I have it open already.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna turn.
He's been my helper for
Oh
years.
no.
Okay.
What
I
do you
think
mean
I
you
can
need
just
to
do it right
restart?
from here. Yeah. Are you able to send it to the Tropical Ridge email?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
All right, one
Um,
second. I don't know what happened right here,
Uh-uh.
but it's 65% complete.
Any chance you have access to it from your phone?
Oh, I do as well.
Oh, yeah. Try to
can
do it
send
from
it
your
to
phone then. That'll work. Okay. We have intermission. Feel free to discuss the neighborhood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, you signed in too, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So that means Ray did not, and Elaine did not. Do you need help with the tablet, Elaine? Oh yeah. We have paper as well. There it is.
Yeah, you have to tell me.
Oh, it's actually much easier than you might expect. There you go. And then just a new response. Yeah. There you go.
All right, let's see. Download. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay,
I
I'm gonna
guess
turn off
we should not
this
need
for
to-
now. Okay. So the camera. Oh, actually, it's not working yet.
What's the email again? Hold on 1 second. I'll
There
send
we
it.
go.
I'll send it.
Oh, the
over right
email
now.
is tropicalridge@gmail.com.
Okay.
So different from the colors.
Okay.
Oh, that went blank, huh? Hmm. Let's see. Oh, that's because the whole thing froze earlier.
I know technology's never easy, huh?
Yeah, I don't know why it did that. Right when we were starting the presentation, it was working fine before that. Everything was ready to go. All right, let's see.
Please
Full screen. And now it should be back up there. Good.
I cannot
Okay.
wait to grab
And
a
then-
bite to eat after this. I'm
Oh,
so hungry.
have some grapes.
No, I mean like dinner, like
Oh, you need something more
big
sustainable.
dinner. Yeah, I've been out all day
Oh.
today.
Oh.
I'm just like ready to eat.
Yes, it's done? Oh, thank you. I think Sylvia. Do you want to use the tablet or the paper?
So nice to see you.
Okay. Very good. And then, oh, did you sign in before you go? Did you sign in?
I think my reception here is pretty bad.
Oh yeah. There is a free Wi-Fi. It's not much faster, but it is a little bit faster. So you could try that.
Let's see. Okay.
Anybody who's watching on YouTube can attest to the glitches. but we do our best with what we have.
Okay, let's see if you received it just now because I sent it.
Okay.
Oops.
I'm afraid to touch this.
I think I'll go through your others.
So actually, while you're presenting, it'll show up there, and then you can just operate by looking there. That way, touching this won't mess anything up like it did last time. Okay. Okay. So, I don't know if it just didn't load yet, but it looks like it's not there. Move it over. Tropicalridge@gmail.com, yeah. Oh, no, that's Bama.
Oh, maybe it's loading.
So, did you send it? Did you send it as an attachment?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So it takes longer as an attachment, but if you can just send a link, then that might work a little bit faster.
Okay, I'll do the link.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Link.
So we already did introductions once, right? Well, we could go into a little more detail, because Elaine was not here yet, and I think Elaine and your V,
Yeah.
you're both residents of this building, right?
Yeah, right.
How long have you lived here?
I don't know, about 10 years.
Oh, that's a decent amount of time. I think I've known Elaine about 10 years. And I know she has not been living in this building for 10 years. How long have you been here? Okay. Mhm. But you have been a Lake Worth resident for quite a while. Longer than me. How long have you been a Lake Worth resident?
Ray, you want some grapes?
I went to Lake Worth in 2013.
Okay. So yeah, that's actually about the same amount of time that I've been here then. I guess I got the impression you were here before I got here. But we were about the same time.
Well, I moved to Florida.
Oh, okay. That was in Boca. Okay.
And then I moved
Mhm.
to
Mhm. Well, and I was blessed to meet you once that happened. All right. And let's see. So we also have two ladies from John I. Leonard, if I remember correctly. And what year are you? Same year?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Which year is
Junior
that?
year.
Junior year. Okay.
Yes.
So I actually teach geometry at Lake Worth High. I have a lot of students that are also juniors. Some of them are seniors. And the senioritis is kicking in with some of them. But I just do my best to get what I can out of them. Thankful they show up to class sometimes. All right.
I like the way you project your voice. It's like very.
Oh, thank you. Interesting thing. Maybe I'm gotten better about that because some people think that I've been told that I need to work on that. So I guess okay, that's cool. Thank you. And then this is our president Ray.
A graduate of John I. Leonard.
Oh wow, there is some history in the room.
This is what you will look like.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Maybe not exactly, but
I was born here in Palm Beach County, graduated from John I. Leonard.
Mhm.
Actually moved to Lake Worth in 1995. I bought my first house from a charming man in his 80s, who he and his wife had the house built, and they lived there. They moved down from Michigan originally.
Mhm.
So I'm the second owner of the house. Really proud of it. Still doing work.
Okay, that's the one on A Street. Nice.
Is it a historical home?
It is.
No, not historical. Built in mid-century, built in 1957.
Oh, some history.
It's getting historical, but not quite there yet, right?
Some history.
It's definitely a distinctive house.
Yeah.
Which means as it ages, eventually it probably will be historical.
We don't see too many
Yeah.
two-story
Okay, let's see.
Is it
No,
there?
yeah.
I still don't see it. What does it say on your end?
Okay, let's
Let's
see.
see.
I won't type it.
Tropical Ridge at gmail.com.
It's a two-story.
And does it
into the
confirm
side
that
of
it's
the
been sent?
Correct. Yeah.
Maybe I'll try to connect to it. Let's see if that works out.
I guess.
It is a two-story house.
And what address are you sending it from?
I'm Ortega at littlemedicalschool.com.
Okay. So now at least I know what I'm
The
looking
first floor
for.
is the same size as the
Sorry. I
And
did not
I
think
guess,
this would be an issue.
you know what? I should try something else here.
I promise my presentation was quick.
This makes
Plus,
up
I
for
love
it.
to ramble, so I don't want to
Okay,
embarrass
let's
myself and
see.
ramble too much. So I'm gonna cut it short.
Oh, I forgot to plug in the keyboard.
You're going to speak loud. I'll speak loud, sure. Yeah, I don't want to use the mic. Because then that might turn out to be.
Oh yeah. The mic has worked without a hitch every single time
But just
that we have been able to find it. Sometimes we couldn't even find the mic, but every time that we found it, it has worked without a hitch until this week. This week it didn't work. I don't know why. Okay, so let's see. Ortega.
I could just quickly speak without the presentation as well.
Actually, you know what? I hate to do this because YouTube is gonna miss out. Oh, you know what? Here's an interesting trick. What if we take this and just put it right here in front of the camera?
Sure.
There we go.
I'll have to
It'll
sign
just
it,
be in the
I think.
corner. It's better than
I
nothing.
didn't pull it up. Well, I did pull it up, but then it shut down.
And then let's see. Let me scoot this back just a little bit, because then I figured the paper wouldn't hit the ground too hard. Now you can just put it right in front of the computer,
Okay.
so it'll still record something.
Yeah. Sorry to make it an issue. I didn't think that it would do that for me.
presentation is about?
So it will be about Little Medical School of the Treasure Coast. We're an after-school program and summer camp provider in medicine, and we are expanding more down to South Florida, and so maybe there's a unique opportunity for the kids of the community to volunteer with us, or also for us to work with other community entities on bringing enrichment programs in medicine. So it's quite unique. I don't think I've seen anything like what we're doing, so I'm excited to give this presentation so you guys can learn more. Let me see. Hold on a second.
Look at that. You're there.
This?
Right here. And then we can put it in right here, I think.
Maybe
Does
not.
it fit there? Oh, that's like that special cover on there, isn't it?
Let's see. Oh, perfect.
Alright.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, guys. I promise I won't take up too much of your time tonight, but I am really excited actually to be here. Thank you, Sylvia, for inviting me. Thank you guys for having me. I mentioned before that I work with Little Medical School of the Treasure Coast, and we specialize in classes in medicine for kids and teens. And so a lot of what we do is, through enrichment programs, summer camps, we work with kids between the ages of y programas en educación en medicina para niños de la edad 5 a 11 años. Y ahorita estamos aquí hoy día a enseñar la comunidad que estamos haciendo en West Palm Beach y en Fort Lauderdale, Boca y en el Treasure Coast en ciudades como Port St. Lucie y Fort Pierce. So we're not just present in West Palm Beach, but also Fort Lauderdale, Boca, the Treasure Coast area, which is Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce. And we've been around for the past 3 years. We actually got our start right before COVID, so talk about the worst time to start something in person. And now we're just kind of picking up where we left off. Before everything shut down, we were trying to work with schools and different community entities to bring our unique programs to them. And so a lot of what our mission entails is inspiring kids about the field of medicine through hands-on activities, and they learn real medical skills. So they use real stethoscopes, they use real needles and surgical drivers, and they learn real subjects like surgery, doing CPR, tying tourniquets, doing splints. They learn all of those in our enrichment programs. Hay una oportunidad para los niños a aprender diferentes cosas en medicina usando cosas real que otros doctores o enfermeras usan en nuestros programas, y esto es todo para inspirar los niños a obtener una carrera, así se dice, en medicina. And then in 2010 is when Little Medical School was in-person and online curriculum, and we're also in over 10 different cities now. So from humble little beginnings of having residents teach kids in the community to now having a nationwide impact. Originalmente una doctora hizo nuestro currículo, y ahora estamos en diferentes ciudades enseñando diferentes carreras en medicina a niños en toda la nación. So a lot of why this is important is because I'm sure with COVID now you've all seen that we need healthcare professionals now more than ever, and not just doctors or nurses, but we need emergency professionals, we need therapists, we need mental health specialists, we need a lot of these different specialized fields to take care of the growing needs of our community. And the way we see us fitting into that need is to inspire these kids to see themselves as becoming eventually these mental health therapists, emergency healthcare professionals, nurses, doctors. And, as time goes on, the medical field will only grow more and more. It's projected to be at 14% within the next 10 years. So it's a real need. And you may not think about it now, but that little kid that you see there is potentially going to become a doctor. Or the little girl you see in after school, she wants to become a doctor or a nurse or a pharmacist. And so starting them young to see themselves as becoming that is what's going to help fuel the workforce as time goes on. Es muy importante para los niños que están en estos programas saber que ellos pueden ser doctoras o enfermeras o trabajar en una farmacia y esos profesionales. Esto es muy importante a nosotros inspirar a los niños en la comunidad a coger carrera eventualmente en medicina. And this is quite important as well because we don't, discriminate, or we don't do certain programs in just one type of area or with a certain type of partner. We try to work with any community partner that wants to inspire the kids in the community together so that we have a more representative workforce, especially minority physicians, minority healthcare professionals, and a lot of these healthcare professionals da carrera en medicina porque estos profesionales eventualmente regresan a la comunidad que ellos crecieron o nacieron en, y eso va a ser una comunidad más representada en todas las necesidades, no solamente es los americanos, pueden ser hispanos o otra etnicidad estos doctores eventualmente. I have to say I'm butchering my Spanish, guys. I'm trying my best here. I need to practice more. It's just really showing that I need to, going to pursue a career in medicine. A lot of our instructors are Hispanic pre-med kids, and so that they can see themselves represented as they continue to grow. Muchos de nuestros profesoras son estudiantes de medicina o estudiantes de otra carrera de medicina, y los niños ven que hay alguien ahí representando su etnicidad y le inspiran a eventualmente ver que ellos sí pueden tener una carrera en medicina. I often say that inspiration comes from one meaningful experience with one deeply invested individual, and that's something that you can take for the rest of your life, really. There's always a pinpoint, where a pre-med student says, oh, someone inspired me to be a doctor when I grew up, and now our instructors are doing the same for the kids in the community. It's always a full circle moment, and it's really special to see. We really try to make that a part of our mission and creating the impact that we do. And so how it works is we try to work through partnerships. We're mobile, and so we'll work with schools, we'll work with nonprofits, we'll work with different organizations to bring any type of enrichment that they could see themselves working together with us on to the kids in the community. We offer programs like Little Doctor School. They learn about the gastrointestinal procedures, and it's really quite fun. And then they have a little white coat ceremony and graduation ceremony that they always start in. So if you see the photo of the little girl, she's in a white coat. We always do that, and it really makes them feel like they're in a medical school and they're, actually immersing themselves in the experience. Todos nuestros programas usan cosas que usan en la carrera de medicina, y todo es una actividad para enseñar que ellos pueden aprender cosas muy complex. Y son en diferentes carreras como de veterinaria o de doctora o de farmacia, de enfermera, y usan diferentes cosas para aprender cosas del cuerpo o como cosas de cirugía, y ellos usan, how do you say white coat in Spanish?
Blanco.
Well, it's blanco, but how would you say white coat? Una jaqueta de doctores, y sienten como que ellos están en una escuela de medicina. I'm butchering my Spanish. So patient, the kids in the doctor's school are doing suture models, so nothing's cookie cutter. They use the real stuff, and they have a blast doing it. And a lot of our partners involve both private and public schools, nonprofits, and basically any other entity that wants to work together with us. And funding for our programs, we're really flexible as well. So, I know Bama mentioned that she does grants. We can function through grants. We can function through sponsorships. We have a national nonprofit arm. We can function through a parent pay model, and also we can use Title I funding. So we're really flexible in how we can work with schools. The most important thing for us is creating an impact for the kids and making sure that they have a unique enrichment experience, because when you see a lot of things at STEM, it's usually robotics, it's usually coding, which is all really, really great. They're really great, but there's nothing in medicine. So I think that's quite a gap that we're helping to fill, so that they can, even if they don't want to pursue a healthcare career when they're older, they can at least see, like, this wasn't for me now that I've had this experience. I think that's also equally important. Trabajamos con diferentes escuelas o diferentes organizaciones en la comunidad, como Boys and Girls Club y YMCA, y enseñamos nuestras clases de medicinas a cualquier organización que quiera trabajar con nosotros, y en cualquier manera que ellos pueden pagar para los programas, podemos ser flexible. So that's it. And I think that, I want to stress the importance of how does this relate to everyone in this room. I think even if we can't relate to being inspired about the world of medicine, one of us at one point in our life has felt inspired in some way through some type of experience with someone. And I think, if you're looking to create an impact in the community, getting involved with organizations like this or helping support organizations like this is really important so that we can give all types of experiences available to kids and also just come together as a community to create more unique experiences for these kids outside of what's already readily available for them within the schools, you know. So they're studying lots of different subjects already, and then after school is the opportunity where they can maybe learn something different or more that they haven't been able to experience before. And lots of different ways people can support that is either by volunteering with us or even just by spreading the word about us because we're quite new in the community here. There's all types of ways each individual person can help inspire the next generation, whether it's for medicine or just in STEM. And that is it. Thank you so much, guys. I know that was, I was trying to make it not too long because we had quite a long presentation, but
What
yeah.
age group again?
5 to 11.
5.
And then we do have a teen program, which is up until 16. And then we do have pre-K programs, which usually starts ages 3 to 5. So yeah, pizza, yeah, what everyone was waiting for. I know, it's quite late. Yeah.
And could you tell us more about the volunteering?
Do you want some?
Yeah, so we recruit for different cities. I mentioned we're present not just here in West Palm, but in Fort Lauderdale, Boca. And so we have an instructor team and then volunteer team, and they work together to show our classes in different schools. So part of being a volunteer would just be getting a background check because you're working with kids.
Right.
And then besides that, it would just really entail traveling to our partners' locations and help an instructor show a class or program for us. And usually you don't have to be any specific age to volunteer. A lot of our volunteers start at the age of 16. And since we are one of the first of our kind in Florida, it is a really unique resume building experience. I don't think I've seen any other medicine enrichment programs in Florida, so it would be something really unique to have on your resume when you apply to college. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of
found
course.
that very, very interesting.
Thank you. Me too. I even brought some stuff to show you guys, but I don't know if I should take it out.
You should. Bring it up.
Okay.
I've been working with kids, and some of them small, and I asked them, what do you want to be? And they said, I want to be a cleaner like my mother. And it breaks my heart that they don't have a mentor
Right.
that reaches higher.
Or at least, you know, they had a chance to be in that experience, right? So it's more so of just giving them a chance to have that experience, and then they can decide if they like that or not, right? Because you know, sometimes we may not like STEM at all. They might be interested in something
Sylvia,
else.
thanks for bringing her.
But yeah, I think it's really quite important. There's lots of different tools we use to show the kids different things in medicine. So Sam Splint in the Splint class, they build real stethoscopes and they take them home. So this is part of one of the first classes in Little Doctor School. And they even learn how to use a manual blood pressure cuff. So they do learn really complex things. They use real needles to like do suture models, and it's all real. And I think that they appreciate that it's hands-on and it's not cookie cutter or watered down for them, because then they feel the challenge of, okay, this is something that's like actually real and interesting to me, and I can do it. Let me try, and they usually do a good job. You'd be surprised. Yeah, we use all of these programs. Well, the programs we do are typically 6 weeks, and then we work with partners to either like do a longer term partnership, or if we need something shorter, like a one-time class. We do holiday classes too, and then usually the programs are about an hour long, but we work within really any structure for our partners. Let's say they want something that's like 3 hours long, we'll create something custom for them, depending on what their needs are. So yeah, you guys can play with these, or check them out. I had some more stuff, but that's all. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate
Thank you
it. A
for
chance to
coming.
practice my Spanish.
Do you have a
There's
business
always an opportunity
card
for
or
that in Lakewood.
information?
I do. Let me see if I have it in my purse. I've disconnected those cards.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you.
Do you have a business card?
Yeah. Let me.
So what are you girls gonna do? Have you
Exploring.
decided already?
No, oh, I'm still
You're about to graduate, right?
next year, pretty soon.
And you're gonna go to college?
Yes.
At
Fantastic.
least you have that part
Yes, I
decided.
do. Yes. But
I waited 2 more years beyond that before I decided what I thought my major should be, and then changed it, and then changed my mind a few more times. But by then, there wasn't any point changing my major officially, so I just graduated with something. It worked out though.
Do you do an open house where they can come visit?
So we don't have a brick and mortar location, which is why we function through our partnerships. We're
Okay.
mobile. Sometimes we have hubs for the summer because of summer camps. But really, if people wanted to pursue a partnership with us and wanted to like do a class or something, they would have to just coordinate with our team, and then we can invite them to something that's present at a different partner's location. But yeah, there are other little medical schools that do have brick and mortar locations. We're just not one of them.
Oh, I guess I have
It's
a
quite
question. If so you were saying that you're part of the little medical school, and there's like a national organization, and then there's also a local organization.
Yeah, so it's technically a franchise, but
Okay.
we have a national nonprofit arm. So we use that to do our nonprofit partnerships. And then there's other little medical schools throughout the world. So there's like 3 in Canada, there's one in China, Ireland. We're the one in Florida.
Oh, okay. So you cover the entire state.
No, because we weren't functioning during COVID, so that was kind of like the chance we were going to use to, grow in the community. Right now, I would say we're definitely tied to South Florida.
Oh,
So the cities I listed, Fort Lauderdale, Boca,
Yeah.
West Palm, those are where we're currently present at, and we want to solidify more partnerships there before we start thinking about anything else, because that would be way
so
overwhelming.
I guess if there was somebody to service the rest of the state, it would most likely be you. Or are there other medical schools that might like throughout the country?
So yes and no. It was really unique during COVID when we were doing virtual enrichment, I would say, because that way we were able to do classes in Tallahassee technically, or reach schools in Tallahassee. Right now they're not as popular, obviously, because everyone wants to be back in person.
Yeah.
So we can still do virtual programming. And when we did that, we would just send the materials to the person's house or wherever their meetup point was, and then conduct the program via Zoom. Technically, we could still do that. So I would say like it's sort of gray area. Like we can service, but only virtually if it's so far. So let's say if someone asked us to be in Tallahassee, then to send an instructor all the way over there, that would be quite crazy right now. But they could do it from the comfort of their home if they wanted to. So yes and no. It's kind of tricky.
And then for the national organization, they have locations like throughout the United States in various places.
Yeah, so the national has a hub in St. Louis, and so that's where technically also the nonprofit is as well. But all of the franchises can use the nonprofit. So the national office doesn't really service all states. It's up to the franchises set in those states to conduct those programs if they want to pursue those partnerships. Yeah. It's very autonomous, so the franchise can decide all kinds of things they can be flexible in, right? So if they wanted to offer only specific programs, they can, or if they only wanted to be open to certain partners, they can. Otherwise, you know, it would be up to them, yeah, to decide what they want to do or not within the structure of the organization.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a lot of fun. I have a great time working with them. And it's really quite interesting when the kids always say they want to be a doctor, so we learn about some, even though I'm not a doctor.
Sounds good.
Let's see. I had another brochure. No, I don't know where it went, but I'll find it somewhere. I'd love to learn more about this.
Yeah. You have a website that we can.
Yes. So it's littlemedicalschool.com/Treasure Coast. And basically it has everything that you would need to know about the programs we're currently running, where we're open to, you know, what our mission is, the kinds of partners we've had in the past, things like that. But yeah.
Would I be able to sign up to volunteer on the website?
Yes, it has a join our team page, and then there's two separate sections there, instructors and then volunteers. And then within the volunteers, you can click what city you're in and then apply through there directly. If you guys know anyone, we're looking. We're looking for mainly Fort Lauderdale, Boca, and West Palm right now. So those are the biggest needs.
I just found your Facebook page,
Oh,
but
nice.
not the regular website.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it didn't take me there. But
It's-
I'm sure I'm close. I just gotta hit the link from the Facebook page.
Yeah, that you can do that. It's / up at the end.
Okay.
Maybe that makes a difference.
Yeah, I think I found it.
Yeah.
So yours is specific to the Treasure Coast,
No,
right?
we're named Treasure Coast because that's
Yeah.
where we're founded, but
Oh.
we're in other.
But you go
locations
throughout
now.
the county, the other counties in the area.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm trying to do is figure out how I know I'm on the right website.
It should just say Treasure Coast. It shouldn't
Uh-huh.
say anything else.
Okay.
Like it'll say little.
Oh yeah. It does say Treasure Coast, and then it says after school programs.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Cool. It's tricky when you do the mobile version because you can't really see everything you want to see.
Yeah, that's true. I had a difficult time on some other website earlier today too on the mobile version. I'm like, I'll just look on their website or desktop when I get home.
Well, actually, you can change the mode on your phone.
Oh really?
helps
I
too,
didn't know that. I'll figure it out. How do you do it? Through settings?
Yeah. There's usually a little options button on the corner.
To use the website version instead of the mobile version.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
No.
Cool.
Let me get out of the way then. Or not get out of the way. Get this out of the way, I should say. We're all eating.
Oh.
I've never seen that split before.
Yeah, well, it's easier this way when the kids use it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Sam Splint, so
Okay.
they can close it up, do all kinds of crazy
Right.
stuff with it.
But it's still very rigid.
Right.
Okay.
It's a bit more rigid than obviously if it was just like a piece of paper or something.
Right, right.
You can feel it.
So it's like semi-rigid, huh?
Yeah, it helps them
No,
learn
you-
for the
you would
first
use-
time.
You
You would
mold
use
it to the shape
this.
you want.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you can attach it with.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I mean, obviously, maybe that's aluminum or something inside of it, metal.
Yeah, and then they use the bandanas that we have to tie it off.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So not just that, that was the teaser.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. I've never seen something like this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Now we can just enjoy the food. All right. Thank you to those who joined us on YouTube. Have a good night.
We finished?